we switched over automatically. Karin, we're live.
What?
What? Hello, everybody. Due to the audio issues we had last class, if you were there, can I just get a thumbs up if you guys can hear us? Because I don't want to get through the class.
Good. Everyone can hear. Everyone can hear.
I'll give you guys a second. There's usually a little delay. Hello. Hi, Jackson. Hi, Grace. Hi, John. Can you guys can hear us? I just need a thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Welcome, you guys. Welcome to Wild in the Galley. I'm Richie.
I'm Karin.
And we're going to cook some food for you guys today.
Yeah.
So those of you who have been here before to our classes, you may recognize, or you may not recognize the kitchen. We're in my kitchen today, which I'm kind of happy about. I'm more comfortable. Karin's cooking up a storm. And we're going to get into this incredible recipe that she developed, this Vietnamese caramelized fish. And pronounce it for me.
Cá Kho Tộ.
Cá
Kho
Tộ. If
Yeah.
you say the ka wrong, it means something else.
Yes, I don't remember what else it means, but
yeah,
maybe
not something good. I don't know.
Well, it's nothing like you have to worry about too much, but you
Okay.
just won't get the point across.
Okay, it's going to be delicious. I want to do a couple things before we get started, so just bear with me for a few minutes while I kind of go through some of the housekeeping things. First off, we have a really great group of folks in here. Some of you are members and some of you I think are non-members, which was kind of the idea for this class. We're doing a tell a friend class with some other partners around the Minnesota area that have come and joined us today. So welcome members, thank you for your support, and welcome those that are not members. Maybe you'll become a member, and thank you for your future support. And I just wanted to tell you a couple things about the chat. You won't be able to chat unless you have a Google or a YouTube account. So if you have questions, but you're not able to access that Google or YouTube, then just send it to, I'm going to scoot you over here.
Mm-hmm.
Send it to this email that you see on the screen, and we'll answer it for you in the near future. Otherwise, just drop it in the chat. And our awesome culinary team, which is comprised of our director, Grace Parisi, and Jackson is in there from our support team, as well as John Clark, our director of Wisconsin, and our member Delight too. So they will be answering the questions for you, and maybe even elevating a couple up to us if we have some space to answer. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you? Oh yeah, and if you're not a member, say hello, introduce yourself to this awesome community that we have. We want to make everybody feel welcome. Moving along. The class is going to be about 40 minutes. And if it goes a little over, it goes a little over. If we finish early, we'll have
More
another
time to drink some gimlets.
Exactly. We're having some vodka gimlets.
Like that's
Yes.
probably going to happen.
If you guys are mixing drinks, Karin paired this gimlet with this great dish, and also the dry Riesling or a light beer goes well as well with this
Like
dish.
a fine American lager, even Budweiser.
A Budweiser,
is great.
you mentioned that.
Heineken, honestly, you don't have to get too fancy. Or you can.
Don't impress.
You know, you don't need to.
Don't put on airs, yeah.
Yeah, it goes great with tiger beers as well.
So let's see. Now I want to give you guys a little understanding real quickly before we jump in. So if you're not part of this community of Sitka salmon shares, and you're like, what are you doing? What are you cooking? What's this about? I want to just tell you real quick. Sitka salmon shares is a community supported fishery. What we do essentially is we bring small boat fishermen from Southeast Alaska and really further north as well, that are some of whom are owners of our company. We bring them in direct connection with our members, and we deliver their hand-caught, line-caught, responsibly harvested fish right to your door. So it's this really beautiful, no secrecy, full transparency supply chain, where we are in charge of our catching, we're in charge of our processing, and we're in charge of our delivery. So when you get your box on your doorstep, it will be showing you the fishing vessel that caught your fish, and you can read the stories behind it. And it's the way to get incredible seafood. So that's in a nutshell what Sitka Salmon Shares is. And we deliver nationwide. You've had our fish. Delicious. It's incredible fish. And we're cooking Pacific cod today. which is ending up in some of your boxes. Some of you members today probably are getting your Pacific cod at your door. So enjoy that. Maybe this dish will be your ticket to smiles in your family table. I haven't had it before, so I'm really excited for it. Last thing I will say is we're giving away some fish boxes. That's what it was. We were giving away 5 fish boxes, salmon samplers to some lucky winners. So my good buddy John Clark is going to be sending me some randomly chosen names through the class, and I'm going to pick a couple winners, and we'll contact you and let you know how to get your fish. But that's pretty cool. We don't normally do that, so this is a special class. We want to get you guys some special fish. So that's enough for me. Let's talk about Cá Kho Tộ.
Cá Kho Tộ.
Kho Tộ. Okay.
And I'm sorry if anyone is Vietnamese and actually understands the language better than I do. I know a few words. That's my best go at it. But my dear friend who is Vietnamese has coached me on that, and that's actually where I first learned about this dish.
That's what you're telling me.
I visited her family in Vietnam, and one of the standout meals that I had was around a little dinner table, and there was this bowl of fish, and I saw lemongrass stalks in it, and it was just in this dark liquid that was just super savory and sweet at the same time, and I just kept wanting to eat more and more of it. So finally, when I asked what it was, she told me about this dish.
Yeah.
And since then, I've figured out how to make it.
And when I read the recipe that we started talking about weeks ago, I'm like, caramelized fish seems to the lay person like that seems weird.
Weird, right?
Sugar and fish doesn't normally seem like a combination.
No, not to our Western sensibilities.
But we're going to blow all the doors off of that idea.
Yes,
okay.
And I should say the name actually means fish cooked in a clay pot. My friend was going to deliver said pot to me today. She did, and I totally forgot to bring it here, so my apologies. I'll follow up with a photo, though.
We'll get a photo of what that clay pot looks like.
Yeah, but it is, we're doing it in things that you might have, that you do have in your kitchen, and that most people will have, and so you can achieve the same effect.
Perfect. So what's first on this sequence of cooking? What's the first thing we need to talk about and do?
So we're gonna start. We're making a caramel with some aromatics. Okay. And also fish sauce, which is a condiment used in a lot of definitely a lot of Vietnamese, even Thai cooking.
Right, which is this here?
Yep.
Okay.
And the Three Crabs brand is great. I also like the Red Boat brand. There are lots of different fish sauces. They're different flavor profiles, so you'll have to tweak this recipe if you're using a different kind. Okay. But it basically, we're going to make a caramel with some of that. It's a very stinky caramel.
You were saying we have a lot of windows in my house, so we're going to open. Maybe I should do that.
Yes, this is a good thing. Yeah, it's a good time to open your windows, definitely, and maybe give everyone a heads up in your household that they're going to smell some smells.
But for a good cause.
Exactly. Yeah. And so anyway, we're going to cook the fish in that caramel. And it's not like a really thick caramel. We're going to make it a little bit thinner, so it's more like a broth that's caramely in nature. Okay. And right now I'm sweating the aromatics, which are some thinly sliced shallots right here, and then one garlic clove. And you said you like spicy, so I'm doing 3 dried Thai chilies. Beautiful. And then now I'm going to have lemongrass stock right here.
And we were talking about this as like a really fun grass. Yeah. There are some tricks that you were telling me in terms of incorporating the dish, but also not keeping it in the dish if you didn't want to have that bite of lemongrass.
So when I had this dish in Vietnam, I remember seeing long strands of the lemongrass, and it's kind of like, it's really fibrous. You can see I'm going to break it right here, and it's a grass, so it doesn't really want to like snap easily in half. It's like trying to bend a tree branch
But the smell is incredible.
So now smell the crushed part. Mm-hmm. So the idea is we want to do something that releases that smell into the dish. Sure. And right now, because I have a sharp knife, just sharpened it today.
Yes, I watched it.
Yep. I am putting all these coins right here into the dish, or into the pot with the aromatics. And I just have a little neutral oil in there. Mm-hmm. So nothing that's really going to add flavor at this point.
Like a peanut or a sunflower or
canola. Exactly. Yeah. And so what I'm doing here is bruising the lemongrass. When I had it in Vietnam, I had longer pieces of the lemongrass that were just probably bruised like this, and they just stayed in the dish. Everyone knew to pick around that, or you could chew on it if you wanted, but it's not really, people knew what to do with it.
Yeah.
Maybe kiddos who haven't grown up with lemongrass in dishes, we'll strain this out. It might just be safer for everyone.
Yeah.
But
so
it's
you can
not
do
as
it either,
authentic.
but yeah, just be aware if you don't strain it out, eat around it or.
It's kind of, it can be a little tough to chew.
Yeah, it's a grass, right?
Yeah.
As we talked about today, like what is exactly lemongrass? Like, oh, it's a grass. Yeah.
So now this is super fragrant. You can smell it, right? And
yeah.
So all
it's
those
got lots of delicious layer there.
Yep. Now what we're gonna do, and this is what seems so counterintuitive in Western cooking.
Yep.
We're gonna add some sugar to it. So I have the pan on a really low heat. We don't want this to go too fast.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just sprinkle sugar right there.
Any kind of sugar? Would you avoid brown sugar? Should it be a white or like a cane sugar?
This is a natural cane sugar. They had the co-op, but I would normally actually use just a refined white sugar.
Okay. Okay.
And we're gonna let it just chill out, think about itself for a second. And once you notice that the sugar is starting to melt a little bit on a very low heat, then you can start pulling the sugar onto itself. But we'll get there in a second.
Okay. So we're going to let that kind of sit for a few minutes.
Just kind of let it sit. Yep.
Mellow and caramelize, do its thing.
Yep, exactly. And then on deck, I have this liquid ready. And this liquid is water and that fish sauce. And as soon as the caramel is just at the right spot, we're going to add this liquid to it. And that's a really splashy, bubbly, sort of dangerous, kind of smelly part. So just be prepared.
Okay. So it might bubble.
Yeah, it will. Okay. But, you know, cooking is sort of a contact sport. So you got to be ready.
We're in here. Okay.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for this to do its caramelization thing, let's do our first winners of a box of salmon, salmon samplers. So this is going to be Kita, Sockeye, and I believe Coho. Don't hold me to that, but I know for sure Kita and Sockeye, incredible salmon. So we're going to do our first we're going to do 2 winners at a time. So let's see. We're going to do a wheel of wild. The winner is going to be Patricia Davis. Patricia, you are the proud new owner of a box of salmon seafood. Salmon from Sitka Salmon Shares.
Yeah,
seafood.
It is seafood. It's in the, it's not, beef.
And Renee Cavalier, which is the coolest last name I've ever seen.
That whole name is cool.
I know, Renee Cavalier and Patricia Davis. You guys are the first 2 winners. We'll contact you and let you know how to claim your box of fish. Great job. You did nothing, but you deserved it. You deserve this fish. Okay. So what's next? Are we still gonna wait for a little while?
Okay, so
see what's happening.
it's starting to get a little bit bubbly right here.
Yes.
That means it's starting to caramelize.
Cool.
And I don't want to agitate it too much. It will crystallize. So if we were making like a dessert and we were making a perfect caramel, like a dry caramel, we would be heating the sugar and really not disturbing it until it starts to turn amber. This is different. There's a lot of stuff in there. There's also oil. So this is a little bit of a different technique, but not entirely.
Okay.
For those of you who like cooking pastries, we're just going to kind of pull this to the middle, see what's going on. Still has some melting to do, but it's really getting close.
And what is saucepan? We talked about that a little. Would that be better maybe for this, or what would you recommend?
I mean, this is like as big as you want to be. You kind of want, in general, for any kind of caramel, you kind of want to use a smaller surface area. Mm-hmm. But this will work. It'll be fine, especially for this kind of thing. Okay. And this pan is also easier for everyone to see too.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Anyhow, while this is happening though, we could probably get the fish ready.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, fish. We have some incredible Pacific cod fillets that we're going to, I'll put these right over here for you.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, and we're just going to cut these in pieces.
Okay.
So we're going to, as I said earlier, we're going to throw this fish directly into our caramel broth, and that will cook it that way.
And you're saying, like, in terms of fish, maybe a great dish for some fish that you forgot in your freezer from last season?
Yes.
Maybe a great dish for fish that maybe got mangled for some reason because maybe it ends in bits and ends that you haven't used.
Yes, like
Sure.
exactly. If I am at the restaurant, if I'm cooking fish, I typically cut off the tail piece, for example. It just doesn't look very beautiful. I don't want someone to be dining ready for an exciting experience and then they get like a little kind of weird.
But you can't throw it away.
No, it's like beautiful fish that, spent time in the waters, and I don't want to.
Work to get
it did, and I just really. So anyway, that's a great time to use these pieces.
Right.
Traditionally, this would be cooked. This dish is for fish like catfish or something kind of like that, but it works really well, I think, for the Pacific cod as well.
And rockfish too. I mean, you could use your rockfish. You could use your ling cod if that's coming to your boxes in the next couple of months. So yeah, a lean, maybe just generally a lean white fish would be great for this.
Yep, and I'm just cutting this into irregular pieces, but nothing too tiny, like about 2 inches. Not being super particular though.
Right.
This is not a dish that we have to worry so much about overcooking.
And that's so nice to have in your repertoire of dishes.
Oh yeah.
Something that is like
it's a very forgiving
we can do
fish
this
dish.
quickly, and here I can get that out of your way.
Oh, thank you. So just take a look at this. All right, see how it's starting to kind of melt.
Absolutely.
Right there. We're really smelling those aromatics. It's starting to turn brown.
The shallots are really strong and delicious. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. I really love shallots, and fish are just like.
And so really, I'm seeing very little agitation. You just kind of let it sit and then maybe move it around the pan a little bit.
Yeah, moving it around mainly to just so I can see what's happening in there. And in a pan like this big, we don't want anything hanging out on top for too long. But yeah, see right there, it's really getting melty and nice.
Yep.
You're starting to see the sugar crystals are not opaque anymore. They're kind of clear.
Yep.
So they are really close. As soon as it starts to turn kind of an amber.
And it's moving now. It's actually like there's movement to it. Yeah, it's the bobbing of it, which is really cool.
Yep. So as soon as it starts to get just a little bit longer, then we're going to add our liquid to it. We're going to turn off the heat and then add our liquid to it. The liquid, it's going to splatter no matter what.
Right.
But
do you want me to double team?
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yep. And so you either just be prepared for that to happen, and
there's no way to avoid it, is what you're saying. You just kind of
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
When you're adding liquid to an incredibly hot caramel that is. But what we can do is give it a breather, so we can turn off the heat. If you're worried about the caramel, first of all, just don't worry. It's fine. People have been making caramel for years and years and years and years and have lived to tell about it, including myself.
Yeah.
And
we were talking about this before. Like, if you mess something up in the kitchen, the kitchen didn't blow up. You're still going to eat delicious food. Don't worry. It's going to be great.
And so this is going to be, this is one of those scenarios for sure. But I also you don't have to, your liquid could be kind of room temperature. It could be a little bit warm. That helps a little bit. Also cutting the heat on the pan before you add your liquid, kind of giving it a chance to calm down a little bit will also help calm down the splattering a little bit. But you can also just go for it and it's fine.
I like going for it.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of making sure that this has maximum contact with the heat right now. I'm going to turn up the heat actually a little bit. Ooh.
Yeah, we talk about your stove is when you look at recipes and you're like, how long do you cook it for? Well, you cook it for 10 minutes. Well, your stove could be a very different stove. It might take you 12 minutes. It might take you 20 minutes. It's all about your senses, right? And it's a full sensation right now. We're really understanding.
Honestly, I think that's the best kind of I think that's the best way of approaching cooking.
Right.
You have to know what to look for. Because all of the other things, the equipment that you have, your heating elements, those are all variables that, don't necessarily translate into a recipe.
Right.
And with exact times and measurements. Okay, that's beautiful. That's what we're looking for right there.
I see it.
This would be going faster if we had a smaller pan.
Sure.
So for those of you who are watching and plan to do this in a little saucepan, you might not be doing this as long as I am.
In all truth, this is my least favorite pan to work with too, and I don't know
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hate this
It's
pan.
a cool size, though.
It is a cool size, but it's like it's very unpredictable. It's a rough one. I thought I'd just throw it at you and see how you.
Oh well, I like challenge.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Karin is opening her own restaurant here in Minneapolis, or St. Paul.
St. Paul.
St. Paul.
It's almost in Minneapolis. It's in Highland Park, so it's kind of like Highland Park, Longfellow. They're like kissing cousins. They're very close. Yeah.
So if you're in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, what's the name of your restaurant?
Muriel.
And it's going to be sometime this summer, right?
Yeah, hopefully June.
Awesome.
I'm doing takeout right now, but hopefully we're going to do the real deal in June. Okay, so now is game time.
It looks ready.
Yep, and this pan has a pretty thick bottom. I'm going to turn off the heat because it'll carry.
Right.
Yep, so see how it's that nice amber. There's still some like crystallized sugar. That is okay. We will live with that. We just don't want it to burn too much. I am going to add the liquid right now.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
That teamwork. That's perfect.
There's like zero splatters happening.
Woo!
I got
I'll have to clean later.
Dribble of caramel on your stove.
That's okay. First.
All right, so what's going to happen?
Now the smell is coming.
Yep, right? And then now all of that sugar just kind of solidified. So we're basically going to melt it down into the broth.
Awesome.
So.
It's really fun stages in this.
Oh, yeah. And this is not your...
So, yeah, it's almost a kind of crystallized, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. It was shocked by the liquid that was colder than the sugar.
Yep.
And now I'm just giving it a little stir, and then heat will do the trick. It's going to... Now we can turn our heat back on. So,
and so
bring it on low.
Once the fish hits this, once it's come to its perfect state,
yep.
Then the fish hits it. About how long are we expecting to cook the fish for?
Well, we have pretty small pieces.
Yeah.
And this is very hot. Sugar heats the boiling point. The caramelization point of sugar is way higher than the boiling point of water. So it's going to be able to cook it pretty quickly. And if you wanted, if you're in a bind for time, you can even cover it for a little bit, and then it'll since poach the fish.
Sure.
Yeah, see, most of the sugar is dissolved right now. And we're going to go ahead and add the fish. Oh, I'm going to add a little twist of black pepper, too.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
By a little twist, I mean like 10.
Like a real Midwest twist.
Ask any of my cooks, and they will say I do that to them all the time in the kitchen. How much salt? Oh, just a pinch. Not like this much. All right, in this pan, we have this. Yep.
And so this pan, what are we doing here?
This is going to be for our cabbage. So I'm going to turn this down again a little bit. Let's add our fish in.
Awesome.
And we need to get this cabbage rolling.
And we're gonna be working on a hard sear, right, on this cabbage with this cast iron?
Yes, we are.
Cool.
So we're gonna give this, actually, could you just give the little wipe?
A little wiperoo?
Yep, we're gonna use a little sesame oil.
Okay.
And you can use either toasted or untoasted. We're just gonna put a little bit on there, not a lot, because we want it to kind of char.
A little more?
Oh, yeah, maybe just a little bit more. And then just wipe that, and we'll keep the oil handy because we'll finish the cabbage with that, along with some lime juice.
Perfect.
All right, so this looks, see how the bubbles have slowed down just a little bit? It makes sense. Some of the water is evaporating out of this, and you're getting more of the caramel. And so now is a great time to add our fish.
Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, man, the toasted, I wish you guys could smell this. I know that's probably annoying to hear, but I wish you could smell this. It's incredible. Toasted sesame oil, caramel, peppers, shallot, fish sauce.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we're going to let that sit on a medium-low heat. Let it think about itself, and I'm going to get the cabbage in
And do we leave it uncovered, Karin?
You know, we can leave it, we can do either way.
Okay.
But I'm going to give it a few seconds with the cover on.
Well, you do that. Let's do another quick drawing. You guys feeling lucky out there? All right, let's do one more. And it's gonna be John who did just send us. Okay. Cross your fingers. Alyssa Tesser? Tessar? Tesser. I'll go with Tesser. Alyssa Tesser, T-E-S-A-R, and Brian Clock, or Glock, probably Clock.
Oh.
I'm terrible at names. I'm sorry, you guys. We'll find you though. Don't worry. We'll find you and we'll get your fish. So that's Brian and Alyssa. Good job, you guys. Way to just be here and be a winner. All right. So what are we doing with our cabbage, Karin? Because this is delicious, beautiful red cabbage.
It is.
Purple cabbage.
It is. So I just took off the outer layers.
Yep.
Cut off the very bottom of the stem and then cut it in half. Cut it in half again. So that's a quarter.
So a quarter?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, I got that.
Yeah,
I'm
good
following.
job. And then now I'm going to take some of the really thick core out like that. Mm-hmm. And this is still pretty thick. So I'm going to cut the quarter in half again. Like that.
And you were saying a little trick is you don't really take too much of that stem off, so it keeps a hold. Right?
Holds it together a little bit. So I'm going to give these sides a little salt. That'll help release some of the moisture in the cabbage.
Beautiful.
And then we're going to pop that into our pan that's ready.
Cool. Yeah, it's starting to smoke. That's perfect timing.
So this is in a cast iron pan.
And if you don't have cast iron, you could just use a skillet, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Anything.
I almost always cook in cast iron.
How incredible is cast iron? Yeah. If you guys aren't cast iron owners, there's a couple. Field Company is a great cast iron brand that we work with at Sitka Salmon Shares, and I don't know. Get into cast iron if you can, right?
So
I was waiting for super stinky, but this is like it's not at all. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's delicious smelling.
I mean, I think so too.
God. I love this.
But it is the kind of thing where maybe if you're having guests over,
do it a little
earlier. You might want to. No, I would actually say wait to do it until your guests are with you. Just like, have you ever made broccoli?
Oh yeah,
or
you
someone
walk
makes
into
broccoli
that.
and you walk in and you're like, ooh, what just happened here?
Can't wait for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit more appetizing this way.
That's smart. That's like the best chef tip I've ever heard.
Well, it's real. All right, awesome. So this, we can see the fish is starting to get opaque on the edges.
Yep.
I've totally lost track of time, so I can't tell you how long it's been.
My internal clock says 4.5 minutes.
Okay. But until it's like maybe opaque, like 2/3 of the way up, we're going to let it continue on this first side.
Okay.
So it's like maybe a minute more. Tops.
And you want the fish and the caramel to be kind of done at the same time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully with the proportion or with the ratios that I've given, you know, it'll be, it'll just happen naturally. But it's going to be sort of a brothier caramel. It won't be like super thick, like the caramel you put on the dessert when you put it on your rice.
Sure.
And then meanwhile, the cabbage.
Here, you can kind of get out of your way there a little bit.
Gonna slide this around. Oh, that's beautiful. So we're gonna wait to flip the cabbage until we can see brown coming up around the edges a little bit. It might fall apart a little bit, but that's okay.
Okay.
But I'll try to keep those wedges together as much as possible. And, ooh, I'm gonna can you hand me the salt, please? I'll salt this side too. Thank you.
I'll have you guys know that this salt box was made in my sophomore high school industrial ed class.
Oh, wow.
I know. And it wasn't a salt box originally. I don't know what it was.
I hope your teacher knows that you are still using that.
Mr. Opdahl, if you're watching, thanks.
All right, I'm going to flip this fish over. Oops. So we don't want to move the fish around too much because cod particularly is a little bit more delicate.
Right.
And I want it to kind of maintain its integrity and shape. So I'm just, also I'm using these, use these fishing tweezers, or these tweezers all the time for cooking.
If you have some ling cod, a little more hardy, and you could probably get away with being a little more aggressive with your fish, but I think you're right, yeah. Gentle.
All right, so it's all flipped over, and it'll be really...
What a beautiful color.
it'll be done very soon here. But see how the bubbles, you can kind of tell the consistency of your sauce when the bubbles start to get bigger and slow down.
Right, bigger. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's see how our sear is doing on the cabbage. All right, I'm going to give that a little press. So I'm going to turn this around so you can see it a little bit better. It's a pretty
beautiful.
Good sear on that side.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it's a really bright purple there. That means it's cooking. So kind of.
So when you say hard sear, are we talking just like a pretty dry cast iron pan or any pan, and you're just really letting it rest and sit in there? That's a hard sear.
So it's using the natural sugars that are in the actual vegetable itself. That's what you're seeing caramelized.
Okay.
It takes a little bit longer than if you're putting in ripping hot oil.
Yeah.
But it's just a different. It's kind of a leaner. We're gonna have a lot of rich with the sauce here, so it's kind of a leaner way to do this. We'll finish it with a little bit more sesame oil, but it's just another way of doing it.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna turn this over.
And probably in terms of cabbage, green or
you can definitely do green, yeah,
but probably not Napa.
You could. It'll just go a lot faster.
Oh, okay.
And then I would actually use more oil when you're cooking it.
Okay. Okay.
That guy fell apart, but that's okay.
There was a question out there about fish sauce substitutes, and I think someone did answer it, but do you have a good quick tip for substitutions for fish sauce?
Yeah, I mean, I would say unless it's for a diet, unless you're a vegetarian, I would just get fish sauce.
Yeah.
This is what that dish is, but it's Oh, and I'm actually going to cut the heat right now.
Okay.
But you could try this with tamari or soy sauce or something like that, or amino acids. It's just I would maybe not use as much of it because it will affect the flavor.
Okay. Good tips.
Well, I guess you wouldn't be a vegetarian. You wouldn't have a.
If you're
If you're cooking
it,
fish, you're probably okay with fish sauce.
unless you just want to
That
drink the
makes
sauce
sense.
and you're sending the fish away, which you could do. No one's going to judge you for that.
You never
I mean,
know.
it sounds delicious.
It's 2021.
There's no rules in
No.
here. No rules.
All right, so this cabbage right here, this one's a little bit thicker. In order to make sure that it's done, I'm gonna give it just a second on its spine. But these guys are looking great, so I'm gonna transfer them to a plate.
There we are.
It'll be a little bit, I like it a little bit al dente, so you might want to serve this with a steak knife.
Sure.
Or if you don't like it al dente, just keep cooking it longer.
Right.
But it's going to keep cooking a little bit because of how hot it is. And then we're going to finish it with just a drizzle of sesame oil.
How simple is that?
And lime.
Simple and beautiful. Okay. You want this right here?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, perfect.
All right, sorry. Okay.
Should we swap plots?
Let's
Okay.
swap.
Slide. Electric slide.
All right, so I'm going to, oh yeah, here's my lime. I'm going to put a little bit of lime on these guys. A little bit of finishing salt. Or you could even use fish sauce if you're bold.
Oh, there's some questions about, my daughter's name is Ever. And she's downstairs watching a movie. Maybe she'll come up. She was giving us some hints, some tips on fish.
I know. She said to make it yummy.
Yes. So we're doing that.
And to use honey, which
Yeah.
we're almost doing.
It's pretty intuitive.
We're like making our own honey, kind of.
Fantastic.
With sugar. Sorry, bees. All right.
Oh, man.
There we go.
So great. Okay.
So let's.
We're like almost there, right?
We really are almost there.
Okay.
We just need to talk about our garnishes.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. So you could, I mean, I watched you painstakingly do these curls for about an hour.
Yes,
And
that was the chef in me
I
coming out wanting to do something.
wanting to butt in and say, I'll help.
So, all right, for those of you who are curious what in the world we're talking about, What do you just check out these?
So pretty. So, and this is cold water, right? So it's got to be
cold water.
Nice cold ice water.
Yep, and that's like this spiral effect. So basically, you remember when you were a kid splitting grass?
Yeah.
You kind of do that with chives.
Right.
And then you take a chive like this, and then you cut it like that, make a little incision, and you can kind of pull it apart. And then maybe that piece didn't work out so well, so I'm gonna pull another one. And there's a little natural bit of a curl, and then you can keep going like that. And then
it seems like the perfect thing for your kids to do.
Like
you got kids at home that are hungry and they want something to do.
Yep. Make chive curls.
Curl.
And oh yeah, no, I'm like fixated on this too.
It's always what happens.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to show you guys how I do it, and then you blow it
secretly. Yeah. But yeah, we have these chive curls. A little bit of cilantro is really nice. So with the cilantro, I don't want to really chop it too much. We're going to. You could honestly just pick it like this and be good to go, depending on how you want to eat it. I always like to keep a little bit of the stem in the cilantro because that has a lot of flavor. Yeah. And we don't want to get rid of all of that.
And not chopping it. You're saying it's traditional in Vietnamese to not chop it.
If you go anywhere and eat with, like, if you go anywhere in Vietnam, your herbs generally are not super processed. Yeah. They're super, they're super fresh. They're in bigger pieces. Sometimes they're stem. And you just need to not be afraid of that.
I'm not afraid of
it. It has all the flavor. You have to also be afraid of not chewing things. I think that's something that is definitely more of a Western culture thing. We don't want to have to chew anything.
Smoothies are very popular here.
We find a bone or some kind of a stem. Right. But cilantro, we can kind of have a happy medium here where we have some of the leaves and a little bit of the stem. If you don't have chives or don't want to use those, you can also use some green onions. We're going to top it off.
Lisa, you're right. Lisa said chive shredding is an art, and you're probably onto something there.
Yeah, if you're having a bad day and you need to just kind of take a breather, you could make a bunch of chive curls and just like really focus on each little chive. And it's funny how
meditative.
Your troubles will just go away as you curl some chives. So
it's the chive way.
It is an art. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, what do you need from me to finish this? Do you need plates?
Let's get some plates.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to move this guy. So.
Do you need a spoon? Slotted spoon? Anything? For transfer?
Oh, yeah, actually. Oh, I'm glad you're saying that. Let's get a plate. Oh, everything that I was saying earlier about lemongrass.
I knew there was something.
Remove the fish.
Yes.
Decant it, as we would say in French technique. We'll take the fish out of there, and then we're going to strain the caramel so then we can pour it right over our dish.
Perfect.
Without worrying about little lemongrass pieces or those dried Thai chilies.
We can just literally shovel it into our mouths.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay,
yep,
perfect.
Without signing a waiver. All right, so we'll use this, and then I'm going to put the fish into. We got another plate. Yep. All right. Perfect.
And I'm going to eat a piece while you're doing that because it's impossible not to. Oh man. Forget about it. That's incredible. There's such good chew and texture left in this.
Right. Yeah.
And the sweetness, there's some heat there coming through. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Every second that goes by, there's a different flavor that's hitting it.
And I really think that this is, like you're saying, this is a great time to use fish that maybe you forgot in your freezer. Yeah. Or if you're serving someone who maybe doesn't think they like fish. Maybe they've been burned on bad fish at some point in life. This is a really good entry-level fish dish.
And it has enough dimensions and like fun little side corners to do, like the caramelization and the hard sear that it can be enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's very fun.
Cool.
All right, so I'm gonna strain this into
Strain.
here.
Yeah, DNA. Cell baiting is what we're doing here too.
Oh. Okay.
A gateway fish dish. Okay, what do you need?
Is that, can I use this fork?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So I have some jasmine rice here. I figure you guys all know how to make jasmine rice, or can figure it out very easily without my assistance. So we didn't talk about it, but that's what I'm putting down first. And then,
I mean, any rice that you want, you could do a short grain, long
absolutely.
grain. Yeah.
My personal rice favorite lately has been short grain brown rice.
Cool.
But I did jasmine because it cooks so fast.
Right.
It's like this whole meal, honestly, can be a really fast, like, special weeknight meal.
We've been chatting a lot, and it's still only taken us 30 minutes, really.
Oh, yeah.
Or less to do this. So.
Oh, yeah. If under pressure, I mean, if I really had to do this fast, it could have been a lot faster.
This is awesome.
So.
Are there any questions out there that haven't been answered? Now's a really great time to drop them in. If not, you can just watch us eat this too. That's fun too. Maybe while she's plating, we have one more, if I do my calculations correct, one more box to give away. So let's spin the wheel of wild. Okay. And the winner of the last Sitka Salmon Shares Salmon Sampler box is the greatest name of all of these, Gilda Rogers. Ooh. Gilda Rogers, you are a winner, and we will contact you to get you some fish. Congratulations.
All right.
While she's doing this too, really quickly, you guys, those that are not members, I'm just going to let you know one more time. We have what is coming up in the last 3 days, 2.5 days now before the 9-month premium share, which is our most popular Sitka salmon share, is going to close this Friday. So if you know who we are, or if you're just learning about us for the first time, go jump to sitkasalmonshares.com, and now's a great time to explore and possibly sign up for a share. Friday's the deadline, and then you can use this awesome code. You probably see it at the bottom of your screen there. It's WITG, that is in wild in the galley. I'll put it here as well. I'll put it right there. How's that? Wild in the galley for $25 off your first month share. So go explore it, see if it makes sense for you. If you eat fish more than once a week or twice a week, and you care about the sourcing, you care about the community in which the sourcing is happening in, and you care about how it's treated, then Sitka Salmon Shares might make a lot of sense for you. Lots of incredible fish, everything from crab to spot shrimp to Pacific cod and salmon, of course, too. So that's enough on that. While I was yapping, you made delicious magic happen. Do you like big forks or little forks?
Ooh, let's say big forks for this.
Forks, okay.
I'm going to put those chive curls, which are maybe a little bit redundant, but
I like it.
Fun.
I think it's fun. I think it's perfect. Awesome.
All right, there we have it. And I put a little fresh lime on top. I could have put that in with the caramel. Did not, but you can also just squeeze it on top like that. Thank you.
Thank you. This is awesome. So you always have to ask the chef that makes it, what is the best approach to taking your bite? What do I need? Do I just need a little everything? Do I get a little? Yeah,
get a little. Try the rice, sauce, and fish first.
Yeah.
And then take a break. Eat some cabbage.
Okay, cleanse it a little.
Yep, exactly. Get some herbs in there.
There's so much incredible sweetness.
Yeah, and a lot of umami.
Yes.
It's not like overly sweet.
No, not at all. You're right. I need a steak knife. You need a knife? The best we got is a butter knife.
That's fine. You can do a lot with a butter knife. Thank you.
Or just fingers too, right?
Oh, that too. Chopsticks, fingers, all of it.
Oh man, the cabbage needs to be this way. You can't if you were to doctor it up with a bunch of spice, it would be too much.
You would lose something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gives it just, and it brings in a different texture. I didn't put anything crispy on this because there's cabbage, which has a good amount of crunch and chew, the way that we cooked it.
Corin, you did it. Mm.
Thanks.
You did it. Oh my gosh.
I have to. Well, actually, I should thank Tina and her family in Vietnam,
right,
for telling me all about Cá Kho Tộ.
Cá Kho Tộ.
I probably don't need to put it much of a gap after the cat, but I just have to make sure I say it right. My Western heavy tongue is not very.
Forgive us.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry,
everyone. Trying.
And the cilantro is awesome too. You guys, this is kind of the end for us. This was incredible. I would say, if you have Pacific cod in your freezer right now, make this part of your weekend meal.
Mm-hmm.
Get into it. The recipe's on the website, and it's not going to take you much to figure out how to make this magic, right?
No. Oh no.
Man. Okay, so we're gonna take off here. A couple last things. What do I want to tell you? Anything worth saying, you guys? Oh, well, we're gonna do another class.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna be next month.
Mm-hmm.
And we have hitting our doorsteps black cod, or otherwise known sable fish.
Mm-hmm.
So
super excited for that.
it's gonna be really fun. Sable fish, highly oily, incredible omega-3 content. It's just a really special fish. It's incredibly versatile. Mm-hmm. So a couple ideas. What could we do with this? What do you think?
Well, we've talked about, of course, I love cooking black cod, skin side down or poaching it, getting either the skin nice and crispy or poaching it, doing a nice reduction in butter sauce. But we might try and experiment with a few other things. Maybe even bread it. I want to see how versatile this fish can be. So
let's stretch it out. We'll figure something out. So you guys stay tuned for that for next month. Wild in the Galley. We'll be here, both of us, same place, same time. One last holler out. If you guys want to get into Sitka Salmon Shares, the code there, WITG25. You have until Friday to get the 9-month share, which is the most popular and offers the largest variety. So responsibly harvested seafood from incredible family boats that are owners of our company as well. And I don't know, there's nothing else to say about it. It's just a great thing to do. That's it. Cooking should be fun. If it's not fun, if you're not having fun, you're probably doing something wrong, maybe.
Yes, you definitely are.
That's what we're here to help you out with that. So thanks for joining us. We're gonna finish munching down. We'll see you next time. Yeah. Thanks, you guys.
Bye.